this Melissa experience. Melissa, you came to Jamaica, you couldn't break our spirit. You destroyed our home, but you couldn't break our spirit.
Hi guys, my name is Alia Hall, new face here on the Dutty Berry Show. And today we're in Westmoreland at the Petersfield High School that's currently being used as a shelter for those affected by Hurricane Melissa. Today we're going to explore the stories of those who are here, from the highs to the lows and everything in between. Can you identify yourself for us please and tell us where exactly you're from?
I'm Christina Campbell, Ennis. Originally, I am from Bastard Cedar Walk, but I was living in Shrewsbury at the time of Melissa disaster.
All right, so before we get into the nitty gritty of things, tell us a little about what life was like before Melissa hit.
For me, I would say life was on a path of stability for me because I am a cake baker and decorator, and I operated a cafe which was right across the street from Petersfield High School. I just started attending Sam Sharp Teachers College. I am in my first year, and my son, he's 2 years old. So we were just about building our family, our business was on a path of stability. I am on a part or on a verge of, going into a career that is more stable because I've been in customer service and been in training and development. But when I got my son, I wanted to have something more permanent, something more fixed. So I decided that I am going to go in teaching full time now.
Okay, so you mentioned that you have a son, and now with Melissa hitting, you had to move up your life and move to a shelter. Can you tell us a little bit about what mothering is like in that environment?
I want to correct a word. We didn't have to move up our life. We had to run for our life. When I came to the shelter, because we were at home in the time of the first phases of Melissa, I was inside my house and it turned over with us inside. When we were inside the house and the wind started to haul, it started to get more boisterous. I said to my husband, Orlando, this don't look right. We have to get out. So we were in this step of just packing away like our the papers, putting them in our storage container. And I felt like the house lifted, and we are giddy house. Everybody in Jamaica must know that feeling you get when you're in giddy house. That's the feeling I got. And I was like, no, this don't feel right. So I said, Orlando, let's put our passport and papers in the storage too, so in case. I was worried about water because I have never seen anything like what we had experienced. So when we started to put in the stuff in the storage tooth, when I look at my husband, I turn and look at him. He was upside down. My first instinct was to try to hold him and not even thinking about if he's going to turn over, if he's turning over, I'm going to turn over next. So I reach out to grab him. And the next thing I can remember that I was under the rubble and I couldn't move. And all was on my mind was my son. I was like, Orlando, and he was lying next to me. He was passed out for a moment. And I started to shake him and say, Orlando, Matian, where is he? And he just got up with a burst of energy and adrenaline and just started take everything off me and start fling it off. And he started to pull me out from under the rubble. And then we started to cry for our son. And I'm trying not to be emotional. And when he started to pull and we started to shout, Matian, because the storage too that we were taking out, he was right behind of me, so it just fell on top of him. And when the furniture in the house came colliding, the storage too with the clothes cushioned him and everything fell on top of him. Thank you, Jesus. And when my husband started to flick everything out, we could hear that small voice under the rubble just saying, here am I, because my nephew was with him and he held him. Thank you so much, Jaden, for protecting my son. And when we pulled the rubble off him, he was clutching him like this. He was holding him. And my husband said, Campbell, we cannot stay in here because the house was upside down, turned over. And he kicked out the board and we managed to go in the bathtub. My neighbor sought refuge with us. He was in the hall part of the house, and all of us, 7 of us, we went in the bathtub in the concrete structure, and we had a blow-up bed. And while we were in there, all of us in there, and we were just clubbed together in like a big flower ball to keep warm, and the winds and the rain because the roof was gone, the wind and the rains. But all I was there, what I experienced, and that we came out, even though my head, I hit my head, my leg suffered damages, and my entire right side. I was just grateful for life. Nothing else mattered in that moment. And I just hear this song came in my spirit. When I'm low in the spirit. And I just started to sing and I started to sing. And my son, I just held him. I just held him. And all through the storm. And I'm telling you, the winds, not even over, the sounds of the car was as loud, roaring as that wind. And everything keep hitting on the concrete structure. And we couldn't see nothing. Everything just was pitch white. But he was just there clubbing to me and just looking up into my eyes. And I was just singing and singing and singing and just giving God thanks. Because I said, God, we could have died in that house, but you save us. And I don't think you're going to give up on us now. So when the eye came, we just got out. I had to strap my son around me in a woody because the wind, it was blowing me and blowing the baby out of my hand. Probably people hearing this, they can't even understand if you don't experience it firsthand. But I'm telling you, I'm young. We heard about Gilbert. We don't know what they say, young boy don't know storm. That's my experience. We didn't know what to expect. But when the eye was passing, the wind was still loud and raging. But we managed to come at the shelter. I was damaged, I was wounded. And my husband is a first aid trained responder. And when we came, there are a lot of person that was injured. But he still attended to me first, and we dealt with the other persons here. So I am just grateful. I am still in, let me say, post-mortem stage. And with my son, my husband reminded me and said to me, Campbell, you cannot allow that all that's happening. Our son is still young. He doesn't understand much. We cannot differ on his development. So we try to give him reading exercises. We try to give him his playtime. We try to, keep his life as much as we can to remind him of the values that we once taught him at home. He loved dog. He's a dog lover. And I'm looking for a German Shepherd for him. He came here and he met one, Rexy. He's a German Shepherd wolf, and he has engaged him. So if I'm not grateful for anything that this Melissa experienced, Melissa, you came to Jamaica, you couldn't break our spirit. You destroyed our home, but you couldn't break our spirit. So Matian met a friend who has kept him engaged here at the shelter. So I am trying my best. As a mother, you know that there are different stages. My son is 2. So I'm just getting back to adjust to life, getting back used to my body, getting back used to... There are so much layers of being a mother. And this added to it with all our stability that we have built, everything that we have been, because I planned for my son, He's my first child for me and my husband. So there were preparation put in place for him to come. But he came and destruction came. We're still not letting this break us. We are people of God. We are people of resilience. We know that God is with us. We know that He has never left us or forsake us. And we are just picking up the rubble and rebuilding because we know that, like Job, there's better to come.
Thank you so much for that. You're absolutely a joy to listen to. Watching you smile throughout this, and I overheard your husband earlier, cracking jokes and stuff like that. You guys are able to maintain joy in this situation. So what would you say to young mothers, especially, who might have just given birth and they're in similar circumstances? How would you encourage them?
I know the worry creeps up, especially when you look around at the situation. But try not to look around. Try to pitch your focus on something, because you have to... You ever hear this saying, there's light outside the tunnel? You have to find that light point. You have to find that beacon, something to pull you out of the darkness, the situation you're in. Know that this situation that I am in is not me. And try to find a focus point. Try to have some form of hope. Find something, whether it's in your eyes of your child or something, just find a focus point and look towards that and work towards. Do not stay in this situation either. Put measures in place, trying to rebuild. We have started a GoFundMe to rebuild our home. We have, reach out to persons here coming into the shelter, volunteers asking for help, asking for any form of sponsorship we can get to rebuild our homes. So do not stay in your situation and allow it to cripple you. And while you're in the situation, try to develop yourself. My husband started to journal his experience. Every morning he gets up, he writes. Have something to channel the emotion. Do not neglect the feeling, that grieving process. Do not jump over it. Do not ignore it. Try to go through it and allow the step to take its place. Because we don't want coming out of Melissa, coming out of the climate. We are left with scars, and that is what my family is doing on our hand. My husband reminded me. He said, Campbell, our house is destroyed. I usually say my home is destroyed. He said, Campbell, no, our home is not destroyed because you're here and my son is here. Where our home is, that's where we are. Where my family is, that's where home is. So our house is destroyed. This is how we encourage ourselves to keep a positive and an optimistic view out of this situation.
So you mentioned that you have a GoFundMe. How exactly can people reach you to assist?
All right. So on my IG, I try to post stories on Reem and the GoFundMe link. I don't know if you guys can ping it, but it's Tanisha Whittingham. It's my childhood best friend from New York because I was out of technology. And when I get in contact, that was her way of assisting us by setting up a GoFundMe link. So you can access it through Camille Trees Delight. That is my business page. That is the only social media I'm able to recover. So you can follow me on IG and you can access the GoFundMe link from there.
Oh God. It's gonna be okay, puppy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My business is gone. My house is gone. I'm at a shelter. There's so much more layers to the difficulty.
So can you tell us a little bit about your experience living at the shelter, finding food, bedding, things like that?
All right, living at this shelter. I want to speak frankly. When aid came and we received assistance in terms of food and water, the same team, Adrian and his team, that's the guy that did the video with us. They were the first points of contact, and Denisha, I think it's Bob Marley's granddaughter, I'm not sure. She came and they were the first responding relief team that came. We are assist with food, shelter, water. Different persons in the community came in and give, resources like that. But this experience has taught me two things. In times like these, it brings out the best in people and the worst. You get to see generous and kind-hearted, but you get to see also another side that most persons tend to disregard. But you get to see how callous people can become, because there are some that may look down on others being at the shelter because our situation, that we are homeless. That's their code, not mine. You're homeless, you're at the shelter because you have nowhere to go and stuff like that. But this was not our choice. This was something that was imposed on us. That's why it's a disaster. So my personal experience, I can say from myself, I work at Petersfield High School for 6 years. So the team here has taken special care of me and my family. But other persons here feel like they are being overlooked, especially for the elderly or persons are more or less fortunate. Probably some of them feel overlooked, like their voices are not heard. But different persons have their different experience. But I am grateful for whatever assistance myself and my family has received, and I cannot complain. You understand? I am just grateful for whatever help we get and whatever we receive. I don't think about what we don't have. I am grateful for what we do receive, and we are appreciative of that.
Thank you for that.
Equipment, and this is my hobby. I love to sew. I don't know if they're working, but my husband tried to save the valuables. In the middle of the storm, he tried to run. I said, Campbell, I want to save your machine. I said, Money, come in. And he said, Campbell! That's what he wanted to save, you know, apart from me. My best friend gave me this, it's not working anymore. But I kept it for sentimental purpose, because I'm kind of fussy, you know. Yes, you see, I'm fussy, no? Alright, so this is my son PlayStation that we set up. Matty, come and play with your car.
Want me to hold you?
And we've been asking for children books. Oh my God. But I guess that's our not greatest priority.
But you want some children books?
Yes, my son has stories.
I've been sorting some stuff out enough to get, but boy.
Matty, can you count in Spanish for me? Can you count in Spanish for Mama? Can you count in Spanish? Can you count in Spanish for me, please? Count first and then you eat.
Man, focus on food.
Good job.
Yeah.
Can you count from 1 to 20? Can you count from 1 to 20? Can you count from 1 to 20? Can you count for Mama?
Count. Count, Papa.
You don't want to count for Mommy? He just turned 2 centimeters.
Oh, whoa.
29.
29,
Yeah.
I'm 28.
Oh, yes.
So we get the brains from.
Both of them.
All right.
Try our best.
All right.
Try our best. He loves when we read to him, and he will look at the picture and say, Mommy, tell me what's happening in this picture. You know, I try to develop his imagination. And, you know, being in the shelter, now we have time. Because I go to school, sometimes I feel like, as a mother, I would come home in the evening and say, Mommy, I miss him. And I would say to him, like, I feel like I'm not fulfilling my purpose as a mother, being away from school. Because I travel to Montego Bay from school.
You've heard the stories, so if you can't help somebody, reach out, because it takes a village. I'm your girl Alia Hall. You can find me at _Alia Hall _. Remember to like, share, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.